men really suffer with body image. Why are like gyms filling up? I think I would definitely be lying if I said that I love my body. I don't, and it is something that I still struggle with because of my own self-created image in my mind. I have bulimia. The next thing people would say to me is like, you know, if you're aware of it, then why can't you fight it? Yes. And I was like, if you're aware of your cancer, it doesn't mean it will just go away. Yeah.
In the second half of our conversation with Murrad Gillani, हम बात कर रहे हैं कि कैसे कैपिटलिज्म और सोशल मीडिया की वजह से हम नेगेटिव बॉडी इमेज साइकिल में स्टक हैं, irrespective of one's gender.
People are looking, as producing plus sizes as a market gap. Yes. Brands like Hardy, generations, they're becoming ambassadors of plus size. I mean, where were they in all these past years?
Welcome to another episode of Out of the Box.
Just because you're known a little or you have found some success, it doesn't mean you're special. You're not. And if you let that be a fleeting moment for you, that is exactly where your growth as a person just stops, point blank. And I really, whenever somebody reaches out to me from a place of respect or like a little too much respect, I'm like, hold on, I'm not special, so you please don't give me that sort of treatment. I'm just another person. I'm just like you. I just make food. Have some. I want to share my food with you. That's it.
Moving on, if is there any advice that you would give to someone who has this internal desire? Because we have a career path, it might sound unconventional, but we do have some life choices we need to make, and we have to ultimately declare them to the world. What advice would you give to such people? Because I'm sure there are people watching right now who would be in that state. And how important do you believe it is कि हम अपनी ड्रीम्स को वी डू नॉट लेट गो ऑफ देम, एंड जहाँ हमारा कोई पैशन हो, नो मैटर व्हाट द आउटसाइड वर्ल्ड थिंक्स या जिस तरह भी वो उसको स्टेरियोटाइप करता है.
Okay, so my advice isn't specifically directed in terms of just an unconventional step towards a career that you might think that it might not work out, but it's general life advice. And so what you asked me kind of like comes under that umbrella. It is that if it's not killing you, it shouldn't stop you. And oftentimes we are killing our own dreams. Nobody's killing them for us. If you want to do something, um, literally in the next 10 minutes, start it, do it. It's okay to fail, and it's a very cliched thing to say that you only win once you have failed, but it is true. Nobody is perfect. You don't know how it might turn out. And I give my personal example to people. It's not the perfect example, but I'm very satisfied with my life. I'm content. I might not have achieved all that I wanted, but I'm on that journey. And it's not like you will achieve that goal overnight. It takes time. There are no shortcuts, but like start. Just like do it. I just
Yeah,
literally
just
want to
start
like
right
push
away.
people like up the tree like a bird. I just want to push them. Just like do it. I don't know what sometimes stops people. I think it's their internal. They have like these deterrents inside. I don't know.
I mean, this is like maybe a sign for like whoever's watching right now. This is
Yeah,
your
just
cue to
do
just
it.
start right away.
Literally.
That's true. That's true. Considering the fact that we talk about women a lot and their struggles with body shaming, ho gaya, body eating disorders, ho gaye, growing up. Like I want to take this moment to talk about men or boys here who go through body image struggles. So. Like, how did you learn to love your body or accept it?
Okay. So I think I would definitely be lying if I said that I love my body. I don't. And it is something that I still struggle with. On some level, I think, have BDD, but I shouldn't say it's not diagnosed. But I do have an eating disorder because of, my own self-created image in my mind. I have bulimia, and I've had it since 3 years now, and it's not fun. I still struggle with it. and I try to be as vocal about it as possible so I can educate other people about it. Even though I'm not being able to fully help myself, I take help for it. But oftentimes it is something just so simple for people, and so for granted. I don't know, like for them, it's almost something very unnecessary to talk about. So if I make a new friend, for example, I'll be like, hey, watch out. Um, I'm bulimic. And sometimes you need to be careful about how you play around it. Firstly, they don't know what bulimia is. So firstly, I have to educate them about it. But it's not since like eating disorders aren't that talked about other than anorexia. Um, so first I have to educate them, and then still they're like very. I wouldn't calling them insensitive would be wrong. They're very not concerned with it, just because they don't know how badly it can affect you and it impacts you and how it has impacted me. It is life threatening. Yeah. And I've been through all those stages. And so, the next thing people would say to me is like, you know, if you're aware of it, then why can't you fight it? And I was like, if you're aware of your cancer, it doesn't mean it will just go away. Yeah. So you have to treat it like any other disability or disease. It's equally important to fix it. Yes. It's equally important to talk about it. And men really, really suffer with body image, even if they don't talk about it. Why are like gyms filling up? The men do care about it, and people should be sensitive. Other men should be sensitive around other men, and not always look down on them, make fun of them. Banter isn't always good. Sometimes it's good to be mindful, especially men. Be mindful. Yeah.
मेरा भी आई सेल्फ डायग्नोसिस ही है बट लाइक फॉर द लॉन्गेस्ट टाइम आई हैड नो आइडिया कि मुझे बॉडी डिस्मॉर्फिया इज सिवियर बिकॉज आई वुड जस्ट लाइक लुक एट एवरी सिंगल बॉडी पार्ट ऑफ माइंड ऑल द टाइम और मुझे ऐसे फील होता था कि नहीं आई थिंक आई गेन्ड हेयर नहीं आई थिंक आई लॉस्ट सम वेट हेयर गेन लॉस ये वो सारा होता रहता था and then there came a point where I had to educate myself on it. And then that developed into my thesis and मुझे उस पे पूरा उस time that was like the journey for me. I don't know about other people क्योंकि मेरी कभी with girls it's a tad bit different. I don't know about boys because I've never had conversation उस तरह से but with girls it's a little bit different because they are sensitized to this idea and they are vocal about it, but I feel like for men it's like a whole another feat or debate that they need to start.
Something very interested I observed about women, especially around my age, having a disorder like that. I still remember back in A levels, I was at LUMS at some inter school competition, business competition happening there. And so somebody, there were these girls from LGS. It was a team, and so I was pegged with their team. We were like competing on something. The conversation somehow stirred into all of this, and so one girl goes to the other girl very conveniently, and she says, "Oh, whatever I eat, I purge and I throw it up." They didn't know a term for it. They didn't know that's not okay, and that it's threatening for you, and you need help. For them, it was like, oh, ha ha ha, that's how I lose my weight. So for even girls, they're not aware about it. Maybe they are more aware than men, but they're really not aware.
या ये तो सेल्फ इंड्यूस्ड होती है डू इट
Yeah,
योरसेल्फ दैट्स
yeah.
ट्रू ये तो जब तक आप खुद को एजुकेट ना करो यू रियली
And
डोंट
even
नो.
more so I was like, this is an issue. So they were like, no, most of the girls do it in my school, and like it's that sort of a cult.
दिस इज लाइक अ कल्चर आई थिंक स्कूल में ये कल्चर होता था आई सीन इट आई हैव नॉट लिटरली सीन इट बट ग्रोइंग अप मैंने टीवी शोज में बहुत ज़्यादा देखा इवन तो वो बहुत एक अमेरिकनाइज्ड सिस्टम और वो उसमें देखा
Yeah.
है बट स्टिल इट अप्लाइज हियर एज वेल.
It's actually people do think that it's a disorder of the West.
हाँ उनको ये
I don't
लगता
know
है
why. Why is it a white thing?
बिकॉज दिस इज अ स्टीरियोटाइप कि जो माँ होती है वो बेटी को कहती है कि यू हैव टू मेंटेन योर वेट, यू हैव टू
Yeah,
लुक
yeah,
अपीलिंग। आई डोंट नो, ये बहुत टीवी शोज में मैंने देखा है कि ओके सो द गर्ल इज जस्ट लाइक कि शी विल स्टार्व हरसेल्फ अंटिल प्रॉम नाइट एंड
yeah,
शी विल लाइक वो सेल्फ इंड्यूस वॉमिटिंग और उसकी आपने बात की वो वाला प्रोसेस, लाइक
yeah,
डूइंग इट इन द बाथरूम स्कूल में कहीं भी, ये इट्स अ वेरी कॉमन स्टीरियोटाइप। आई थिंक पीपल हैव दिस मिसकंसेप्शन कि नहीं ये तो
yeah,
बाहर की वेस्ट की एक थेरी है ये वो। You're right about that. So, like continuing with this, you shared in the very beginning ke, and वैसे भी this reality that you lost weight because you were fond of dressing up, right? And like, don't you feel like, I mean, I could be wrong, but maybe for me it is like that कि आपको नहीं लगता कि there's lack of inclusivity? You have talked about it कि even after losing weight you felt it in terms of fashion कि I mean it has gotten better, but still I feel like काफ़ी जगहों पे there is a need कि इसको एडमिनिस्टर किया जाए, बिकॉज हमारी ईटिंग हैबिट्स अल्टीमेटली उसी तरह डेवलप होती हैं जिस तरह द फैशन इंडस्ट्री ट्रीट्स अस। बी इट आप किसी ब्रांड पे चले जाओ एंड यू कांट फाइंड कि मेरे साइज़ के तो यहाँ पे कपड़े ही नहीं है, जब भी आओ तो यहाँ पे
yeah.
तो होते ही नहीं है, तो मैं तो यहाँ जाना ही नहीं चाहती।
You know, it is true what they say about clothes, that the clothes should fit you. You shouldn't
Yes.
fit the clothes.
Yes.
That's absolutely right. But yeah, definitely there needs to be, the shift in the industry. And, when Pride Month comes on, for example, how all these big brands would put on sales. That is exactly what's now again happening in the capital market, where people are looking, as a producing plus size as a market gap.
Yes.
It's good that
That's
finally they're going to
also
produce it, but they're looking at it from a very capitalist point of view. For example, brands like Hardy, Generations, they're becoming ambassadors of plus size. I mean, where were they in all these past years? Just because they've started now, it doesn't mean they're ambassadors for it. But it's good that this movement has started. Yeah, and I think also it wasn't just the clothes. I also, if I'm being honest, I wanted to look a certain way. Everybody has that self image in their minds. It can be influenced. It definitely is influenced by your surroundings.
yes.
But I also wanted to look a certain way, and then for the clothes to fit me a certain way. Yeah.
So like I feel like the capitalist society really needs to recognize, even though it's very strong to the point that I just feel like we're still not there where we can beat them or fight them or just like be vocal to the point that they register. But our bodies are not trendsetters just because be inclusivity in hai or like plus sized women or like abhi men ka to us tarah nahi hua, but plus sized
Yeah,
women or
that's very important. Like, why aren't plus size men accepted?
right.
Like, I don't, and like nobody produces clothes for
Like
them either.
ठीक है वो joke like वो वाला acceptable
Yeah,
है, but like
yeah.
what's wrong with the fat guy,
Yeah, that is something very interesting that you pointed out.
right?
So it is again. I said it. The movement has kind of started. It started with women, from a very capitalist point of view, but I really want it to like catch up with what is the need of the hour.
Yeah, that's true. Um, okay, so we have talked about it, but like I wanted to share something personal here. कि I like 6 years ago, I remember feeling very ashamed when I would like walk in and मुझे मेरे size का like I had to like I was made to believe कि okay, if I need to find something off the rack, I need to drop all the weight. You can मतलब there were so many items like I wish I could wear this, I wish I could wear that, like and then it just developed into कि okay I just need to starve myself, और मेरी methodology बहुत corrupted थी. I would not recommend it at all. Like चावल नहीं खाने, roti नहीं खानी, and it's just like it has I was going to use the F word, it has literally disturbed my like body to the point कि अभी भी ऐसा होता है कि certain foods like I can't digest them, and I it's like कि self induced है. So how do you maintain this healthy relationship with your body if you have over the years?
So, like I mentioned, somewhere there are some days where I have a very healthy relationship with my body, but again, I'm bulimic, and I need constant help. I need to constantly be mindful.
Yes.
In a week of 7 days, I think 5 of my days are miserable. I don't show it to people because it's not cool for people. Um, I talk about it as much as I can. I don't want people to, just go and I don't want to become like that charity case. That is something I never want to be. I want to help myself. I try to. Yeah, it's just a struggle. I won't say I have a healthy relationship with food or my body. Yeah, I sometimes, I tell my friends off, I'm like, I can't go out of the house because if I go out, I will eat. And there are these instances. Sometimes they happen very often. Sometimes they happen at the gap of months. But yeah, I wish it stops. And I really want to reach the phase where I'm like, even if I'm gaining the weight, it's okay. But currently, for me, it's not okay. I don't know why, and I'm even saying this, but it's just not okay for me. And I just need to be this constant way all the time. So, yeah.
For me, it's the opposite. Like I step out of the house because मेरे अंदर ये होता है कि if I eat, everyone's just going to look at me and judge me. ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं होता. हर कोई अपनी दुनिया में मगन होता है. But like ये self internalize कर दिए ये बात कि so that's why I step out of the house. I don't stay at home because I know when I'm going to stay at home, ये कुछ बना लूँगी. I'll cook something. I'll grab a snack or something. But when I'm outside, I will not touch anything. I will deprive myself कि okay, let's just skip eating या
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
just not go here and eat क्योंकि सब देखेंगे and they will judge you के like look at your body and उसके ऊपर on top of that you're eating. So I think I think हर एक का cycle is like different when it comes to like their relationship with food. Also like I also want to know कि होता है कि even after you lose all the weight एक pressure होता है to maintain it. It's a very daunting experience. मतलब कभी ऐसा नहीं हुआ like moments in your life where you're just like I feel so trapped in this body क्योंकि मुझे एक internal pressure feel हो रहा है कि I need to stick to a routine. Like does it not affect your mental health because body के साथ साथ mental health भी crucial है.
It's a very important and relevant fear. That is exactly why I developed bulimia. That pressure that I've worked too hard to achieve this body image I had. I can't go back. And that is exactly where, like, coupled with my anxiety, bulimia kicked in. When it happened for the first time, I was like, this is abnormal, this is obnoxious, and I can't do this. And so, with the constant pressure, I was checking my weight every day. And so when the first one or two instances happened, I was like, oh, my weight isn't going up. Maybe this is the answer. That is later when I learned that this is not okay and this is a disorder, that, you feel so guilty after eating that you might gain your weight back, that you actually can actually purge yourself. Purging yourself is actually like, inflicting torture on yourself. It's like getting minor heart attack. It's not
Yeah.
it's not fun. But yeah, the pressure. That's why I'm saying, like, I struggle with it, because I have the pressure every single day, every single hour. Even because I wanted to come here, I didn't eat the night before, and it is that bad because I don't want to look bloated. I still think that I've gained weight from before, and I really am now trying to like get back to that, and it kind of feels like it's just slipping away, and I feel so scared that what will now people think now that they have seen the perfect me, um, that was like self-created. What will they think when there's none of that anymore? So yeah.
ये पर्जिंग का भी ये you're right about and I'm glad you brought this up क्योंकि काफ़ी लोगों को ये पता नहीं होता कि all of a sudden you have all the space in your stomach and no matter what you eat you just have the space for it and you're constantly ये भी and you eat something you're like I think I have space for more and then more and it just does not stop.
So just to give some rough idea to people, when it's called the binging phase, and that is actually where this casual word binge eating comes from. It's eating an obnoxious amount of food in a very short amount of time. For me, that can translate to having like two large pizzas within 10 minutes, like this, and in those 10 minutes, because you're anxious. And what anxiety, by definition, is that it doesn't let you live in the present moment. It's either making you think about the past or it's making you think about the future, like traveling to the future. So you clearly, for that window of 10 to 15 minutes of that guilt free eating, you do not know what's going on. And it mostly happens in isolation, where you're not surrounded by people, so they can't know then that what's next after your binging cycle. It's purging. So when you're going through that binge phase, it's like you actually don't remember everything that you did. And so my therapist often tells me, now I'm not taking therapy currently, but when I was, my therapist taught me these grounding techniques of how to ground yourself to the present moment, so that you know that it's okay, you're alive. Even if you've had so much food, you're not going to die. So she said, you should feel surfaces around you, like engage your five senses, so it like brings you back to the present moment. So like touching wood or like different materials, stuff like that. But I'm telling you, like that little window of binging, if if there was a camera, for example, and later I observed myself on camera in that little window, I would be scared. And it is very scary.
Yeah, it is very scary. That's true. So, amidst all of this, I just want to conclude with this question: that what keeps you going? How do you hold on to hope despite the situation we are surrounded with, whether it's something internal going on or like external factors around you?
I think my hope, how I keep my hope alive, I really don't have the answer to that. I lose hope every single day. I lose every day. For me, every single day is like a new lease on life, and I'm kind of forced to live like that, because if I don't, then I've lost forever. If I don't take every day as brand new, then there's no way I can go forward with the kind of thing that I suffer with. It's like some days I just want to give up. Some days when I give into the disorder, I'm like, this is only fine if I cut off from the world. They can't know, and then I'm fine. But it's very interesting to note what I just said, because I think all of this is so important for me to preserve myself like this, because I really care about what people will think of me, and I'm not embarrassed of that. It's just the truth, and I somehow that is the only key, in reviving more hope, and to like having consistent hope, is if I somehow learn that what people around me think about me isn't as important. Right now, I haven't learned that, but I'm trying.
It's a process, yeah. On that note, thank you so much for
Thanks for
joining
having
us.
me.
I feel like it was a very educational episode. I
The
feel like,
heart to heart where I blurted out too
yeah,
much.
yeah. I feel like it wasn't just your craft we were invested in, but like there was so much to learn for the both of us, I feel, and at the same time for people watching, and then how we need to cultivate empathy a lot when
Yeah.
it comes to be it anything. आपका अपने काम से कोई ताल्लुक हो, उसमें आपको बहुत ज़रूरी है to develop it with you and your craft, and at the same time with other people around you. But thank you so much for
Thanks for having
joining.
me. And for the end note, I would just like to say to everybody to just be kind, and love is the way forward.
Definitely, that's true. That's true. On that note, I'm going to conclude आज का episode. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will catch you in another episode very soon. अगर आपको ये एपिसोड पसंद आई है तो अपने थॉट्स कमेंट बॉक्स में ड्रॉप करें और अपने दोस्तों के साथ शेयर करें. यू कैन ऑल्सो सब्सक्राइब टू आवर चैनल टू नो एवरी टाइम वी अपलोड.